Recording in progress.
But when we're confined, that's whenever we can start using that visualization, where we just close our eyes and we breathe and we think about our Tai Chi moves, and we can help our bodies on that healing journey through, keeping our nervous systems calm down. Good. Well, I didn't even ask about that. I'm glad you didn't fall. Yes. Don't fall. Don't let that be the reason we go to the hospital, right? But I have been coming across information, because it's the beginning of the year and people are making all these new resolutions are like going to completely change their lives this year. But there's been a lot about our nervous system and how stress and anxiety can really affect us. And sometimes we don't even realize how stressed or anxious that we are. And so you might not recognize as that being something that you struggle with, but it may be underneath. And so to combat even things we're not even realizing that we're spending energy on, use Tai Chi as a tool to relax your nervous system, even though you may not be outwardly worrying about something. Sometimes situations, thinking about Mr. Ed in the hospital, all the beeps, all the things that are going on, the people in and out of your room, it's not the same as home. You don't have the comforts of, everything. That's one reason why I'm such a homebody. I like my coffee maker. I like my couch. I like my remote. When you go and you're in another location and you are watching the television, you go to touch the remote and you look at the remote like, okay, well, how do I turn it on? Because it looks different. And that doesn't seem like a big deal, but little things add up, and that causes stress for us. We are creatures of habit. We don't like change. I mean, think about when you go to church or, anywhere heck, whenever I drive to Walmart and I park my car, I park in the same spot every time if I can. When you go to church, you sit in the same seat. We are such creatures of habit. And what if you get somewhere and you go, well, they're in my seat. Well, that causes you stress. And in your heart and your mind that the world isn't going to come to an end because somebody is in your parking spot or in your seat. But don't it give us a little stress? we feel personally offended. So hopefully y'all can have your comforts of home and your seat and your parking spot more than you don't have it. But when you have to deal with that little anxiety, utilize your breathing and help calm your nervous system down. So today we have, I think it's our same, it's our same group as we had last week. Before I get started, I want to remind you, or maybe not remind you because I don't think I ever told you, but the state has developed a new questionnaire. And Tai Chi has never had a questionnaire or a pre-survey is what they call it. We've always just had that registration and waiver form that we send out. But now there's an actual questionnaire. And it's not my doing. I didn't choose to do it. But Sam said, Ed, Barbara, and Iris, that she's going to be calling y'all and doing that survey over the phone. If you would rather do it, on your own, we can definitely mail a copy to you, but it'll be easy and won't take a lot of time if you want to do it over the phone. Sharita, I'll call you and we'll go over it. it's something that's new, but it's not a big deal. It's just collecting information to turn it into our, the powers that be. And the powers that be are the ones that give us money. So we want to keep them happy. So if they want to know who's in our class and, demographics and things like that, then we'll collect that information. You do always have the right to say, I'm not taking your survey, and you can't make me, and I'm not doing it. And we're not going to hold that against you. If you tell us you don't want to do it, we'll just say, okay. And then there's a little box that we tick when we report our classes that says the person didn't want to take the survey. So I'm definitely not going to hold it against you if you don't want to take it. So if there are any of the questions that you're like, that is none of your business, then just say, that is none of your business. I'm not answering that. Or maybe that's not the nicest way to say it. You can say it to me because I find humor in it. But I don't know if Sam will take that as humor. So you just tell, and because Sam knows the rules too, that we can't make anybody do anything, which is beautiful. I love that. And so it just know it's not gonna make me unhappy if you say I prefer not to answer that question. Any questions about that?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I've already had.
Oh, you already had it.
Yes.
Was it anything that you felt was too nosy or was difficult?
It's about like when you do the medical court, you have that a lot of questions. But just it wasn't anything I was so not to me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have the survey, and I don't feel like that. But everybody's different, and I always want to give everybody permission to protect yourself from giving out all your information. It's nothing, it's nothing like real personal, I don't think. But, some people may just not want to answer questions because they don't want to. So, anyway, I just want to always remind you that you have the right to say no. You have the right to, not just blindly do what we ask you to do. In Tai Chi class, that's what I tell y'all. Listen to your body. And so listen to your mind as well. And if your mind says, I don't want to answer that, then don't. If your body says, that doesn't feel good, I don't like this movement, let's find a new way, let's skip it, let's move to the next thing. So you always have permission, and we encourage you to listen to your body. So this is the same group that we had last week. And after we had class last week, I thought, I probably shouldn't have went over all of the stuff that y'all already know. I was just in the mode of first class. I didn't know who was going to be joining the class, if they were going to be watching the YouTube, to kind of catch up. But as of right now, I don't think there is going to be new people. So we can, of course, we always repeat information because every time we repeat it, it goes towards learning. And so I'm not leaving y'all behind, but, we won't treat this like a beginner class like you've never heard of Tai Chi before, because y'all have. So we're going to get started. We always start by opening and closing our hands and just warm our bodies up. Now, y'all, it's chilly outside. Yesterday, I couldn't believe how chilly it was. And on this Thursday, it looks like we're going to have an even colder day. So it looks like it's that way around the country, not just in Baxley, but probably where you live as well. I even looked up my mom's weather, my mom lives in Kentucky, and this Saturday, her low is 8 degrees. 8! That is without a chill factor. So I don't even know what the chill factor will bring us. But I know Thursday it is set to be like a high of 40 something and a low of 20 something. So when it's cold outside, our bodies are cold, and it takes a little bit of extra to get them warmed up. Sometimes I'll bring a heater in here to just warm up the air, because if the air is cold, then your body will be cold. If the air is warm, then your body is warm. And that happens in the summertime when it's warm outside. Our bodies just work and move better. So if you find yourself a little extra stiff, then that's normal because of this cold weather. And we purposely walk around, pump our arms to get ourselves warmed up. So let's get in our stable stance, and that meaning our feet are about shoulder width apart. We're really thinking about our posture, where our shoulders are back, and it's like a string that pulls up and down at the same time, yet our shoulders relax. We're not holding any tension anywhere. We attempt to hold our bodies in a stable stance anytime we need to hold our bodies anywhere. We practice our principles through our warm-up. Let's start with our neck. We're going to bring our hands up, palms down. Turn and pull them towards our chin and chest. Push away from our bodies, and then follow those hands all the way down. So our chin towards our chest is what's important here. That's where you feel a little stretch in the back of your neck. Some things we want to remember is slow, smooth, and continuous through this movement. And also that even though our hands are out and away from our body, they're not Frankenstein. You can't really see it. My shirt is really like baggy today. So excuse me for that. But you know, we don't lock our elbows. We keep a soft joint. So our hands are out, but they're not locked out. So then we bring and turn them towards our chin and chest. Push away, and then follow those hands all the way down. So you should feel a slight stretch in the back of your neck as your chin comes towards your chest. So that's our first neck exercise. Our other neck exercise starts out that same way, and we bring our hands here, drop one to our hip, and then we follow this hand as we go to the side and back to the front. Switch our hands, follow that hand, back to center. So something to remember here is that the hand that's at your hip, it's engaged. So we're holding it here. We're not just laying our arm and flapping our arm around. We're engaged. And as we go turn our head towards that hand, like we're looking towards that shoulder, this opposite shoulder, if you want to extend your stretch even more, you'll pull that shoulder back. So here I'm pulling both shoulders back. I'm stretching my neck, but I also have this nice stretch across my chest. So then I come back to the center and switch and do that on the other side as well. So we're making the most of this movement, not just a neck exercise, but going down into our chest as well. Also, we're continuing to breathe. So as we move, we want to make sure we're not holding our breath. Now let's go for our shoulders. Let's rotate our shoulders forward. Small circles, think the size of a quarter. And roll those shoulders back. Nice little shoulder movement. Just warming up all of our major joints. Our other shoulder warm up is a big shoulder circle. We bring those hands up, turn and push them down in front of us. Inhale as you come up, turn and exhale as you press down. So these upper body movements are ones that you can easily do seated. Even if you're stuck in a bed, you can do these movements. Or, like I said, you can close your eyes and visualize yourself doing all of these movements. And that's beneficial as well. And I don't think we give visualization enough credit. It's kind of like faith, you know, something that we can't see, but nonetheless real. All right, let's get our ball. We're going to stretch our spine. So we're going to separate. One hand pushes up, the other comes down. Come back to center. Switch and separate. I like to inhale as I come to my ball, exhale as I separate those hands. Remember keeping that soft bend in those arms in this position as well. Back to our ball, let's go side to side. If you feel your muscles maybe feel a little extra tense or stiff, then that's part of this cold weather. When we're cold, it tenses up our bodies. And so that's why warming up all of our joints is so important. And it helps get rid of some of that tension and helps with our mobility. Because y'all, some mornings I get up out of the bed and my hips, oh, they'll be so stiff. Or, you know, it's usually my hips that are stiff. It's usually following a day where I'm in a car or sitting in my office a long time. So immobility or not moving can cause pain. People think moving is what causes pain, but moving helps relieve this pain. So let's now go to our hips, shifting the weight, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. Take your time, use a chair if you need to. This takes a lot of balance, being able to hold your weight on one foot. And so it takes time to build up that strength. And even if you have that strength, some days you have good days and bad days with it. So have something nearby, just even as a safety net. Just, you may not even touch it, but knowing it's there is relieving to your fears that you have. We want to continue to keep our upright posture. Stay going slow, smooth, and continuous. Let's do one more. Now let's shift side to side. feel myself going a little bit fast, and I don't know why, but slow myself down. And that's that body awareness. I'm very aware of how my body is moving, and if I feel myself start going a little fast, I notice it and slow myself back down. And so that's a gift that Tai Chi gives us, is being aware of our bodies, how we're moving it, if we're holding any tension anywhere. All right, now for our knees. We have our loose fist here at our hips. We're going to shift weight to one leg, lift, tap and punch, bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch. So here is that cross-lateral movement where we move one side of our bodies opposite of the other side, and we challenge our brains, and that's good for our brains. I've been hearing a lot lately too that mushrooms are really good for our brains. So if y'all like mushrooms, add in those into your recipes and eat a little extra. We made a soup on the weekend that was called rotisserie chicken soup, and it was made with the rotisserie chickens that you get in the deli at the grocery, and it had mushrooms in it. It also had heavy whipping cream. So you know if a recipe calls for garlic, onions, and heavy whipping cream, butter, I mean, you're on to wonderful things, aren't you? But the mushrooms, healthy mushrooms. The mushrooms made anything that wasn't healthy, suddenly the whole recipe became healthy. Because we need a little fat for our brains. Fat is good. Fat is a good thing. I think, was it in the 80s that everything went to low fat? I think now everything is like no carb. Maybe gluten-free, like, there's these little micro trends in nutrition. But fat is good for our brains. And women, we need fat on our little bodies. All right, for our ankles. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Other leg, heel, toe. I went toe, heel on that one. Change is as good as a vacation. Big rebel going toe, heel instead of heel, toe. Now we're going side to side. We're working the ankle joint to help it be the best that it can be without stiffness and tension. We want it very mobile and strong to help support our bodies. Heel, toe. All right, so hopefully your body feels better after those warm-ups of all of our major joints and movements. My hands are really, really dry, and I'm fixing to put a little bit of hand lotion on because I can't hardly think about anything else but these hands being dry. I keep a little satchel of anything you can possibly imagine in my bag, and it's usually not far from me. And I'll show y'all what I use. Gold Bond, Age Renew, Crepe Corrector hand cream. I really like this stuff. I got it at the Walmarts. It's not I don't know, sticky, or it doesn't leave a residue. It's nice. All right, back to the serious business. I'm going to turn on our music, and just to give us a little background noise. Music makes everything better. Got to turn it to Tai Chi. Alright, that gives us some background noise. So let's review and go through our movements. I know last week I tried to kind of hold back in getting us started because I wasn't sure of new people, but we have done this before, but it's always good to go back to the beginning and review what we already know. And so let's talk about commencement. Commencement is a step forward as far as our feet go. So we shift to our right foot, and I'm doing mirror image. We place our left foot out, and when we place our left foot out, that's an empty step. When I say things like place the foot, that's to remind you not to give it weight. Because if I say step, then I think our brains want to go ahead and step and go ahead and shift that weight. But in Tai Chi, we do empty steps. So, one reason why we do it is, what if I place my foot there and there is a tack on the floor? Well, I have on shoes, so that wouldn't really matter too much. But a hole, something we don't want to step on. A hill of fire ants. Y'all, I stepped on fire ants this weekend, and I have 3 different spots on my foot from stepping on fire ants. But we place that foot out because if something was there that we don't want to step on, a Lego, definitely a Lego. We don't want to step on it, then we can easily pull our foot back because we haven't committed weight to it. Okay, so that's one reason why we practice the empty step. I don't know how much we practice that in real life, but we do practice it in Tai Chi. What I think it really does for us in Tai Chi is it makes us hold weight on our other leg longer. Because if I'm empty stepping and I'm not giving weight to a foot yet or a leg yet, then this other leg's holding my weight. And the longer this leg holds my weight, then the stronger it gets and the more able it is to be a stabilizer for me. The more I'm able to stand my weight on one leg, the less likely I am to fall. So that's why we practice that empty step. So get in the habit of thinking about your steps, at least in just Tai Chi class, as empty step. A foot placement, then a weight shift. Now this leg is holding all my weight. I bring this foot forward, and when I bring the foot forward, it's empty. So that's an empty step. Then I even it out. So you'll notice if I have weight on one leg, then my body is over top of that leg. And whenever I give weight to both legs, my body shifted over top of both legs. So I adjust my body to where the weight is because I want to always be upright. I don't want to lean because if I lean, then that's putting me towards falling. So turning around, we shift weight to our right leg. We place our left forward. We shift left. Then we bring our right foot forward empty. Then we give weight to both legs. So that's the footwork in commencement. A step, a shift, bring the other foot forward, and then even the weight out. So it's a step forward is commencement. Hand work. Our hands start on our sides. Our hands are going to face each other. Now, in Tai Chi, we work with energy, and it's life energy. Life energy is what separates our bodies from a body in a casket. It's the life inside of it. And so, oftentimes when you do Tai Chi, because our hands face each other so much, and we work with energy, when you look at your hands, they'll be red and splotchy. And that's energy in our bodies that we're working with our movements. We work with energy. We increase our energy when we exercise. And so our hands are going to face each other. Coming from our sides, we bring our hands up See, they're facing each other. They're not together, but they're facing each other. So we bring our hands up, and then we bring our hands down. So we're here, but then we came out and up. So we didn't come up our bodies. When we came up in commencement, we're away from our bodies. Again, we don't lock our elbows. We keep those soft joints as we come up and down. Now you notice I kind of flick that wrist a little bit because there's an opportunity to have a wrist movement in commencement. So when we bring our hands up, we can point our fingers more towards the ground. And then when we come down, we can bring our fingers kind of up towards the ceiling. So see that little wrist flick? We don't have to do that. We can simply come up and down and back in. And my wrist never moved. And that's fine. But why not, if you can, add a little bit of work to that wrist joint. Now, not everybody's joints move the same way. And so you do what feels comfortable for you. So when we come up, fingers more pointed down. When we come down, fingers more pointed up. Then we come in towards our hips. We come up our bodies. I always think of that as an elevator. And then we push out. And then we come back in. And you see how now my fingers are pointed up. My palms are facing. And that's when I go into that open and close, which is that second move. So again, I'm going to come to the side so you can see it from the side. We bring our hands up, down, in, up, out, and in. And then open and close. So when I turn around, that's the movement you don't see. Up, down, in, up, out, back in, open, and close. All right, what else do we want to think about? Our armpits. Because we work with open joints or song joints, just S-O-N-G, song or open joints that allows energy to flow, we keep our hands or our arms away from our bodies, which allows our armpits to breathe. We bought this really good deodorant and we want everybody to smell it. So we just hold those armpits open, proudly hold those armpits open as we have our hands up, down, in. So even when you bring your hands in, my arms are away from my body. I'm not in. This is not a good shirt to wear to Tai Chi. It's pretty, but you can't really see my body with this shirt. But nonetheless, keeping those arms away from our bodies as we come in even and not here. So it's just a little bit of a difference in placement, but it allows energy to flow through our bodies. And then up, out, that whole time my armpits are open, and close. So my hands are away from my body, or my arms are away from my body, along with my hands. Dr. Lamb has a little story about the ball. He says, and this is to help you remember this move. Oh, look at my ball. Isn't it so pretty? Oh, it's shiny. Don't you want to play with it? No, they don't want to play with it. So you bring it back to your body. You bring it up and you're like, but it's such a good ball. Look at it. They don't want your ball. So you bring your ball back to yourself, open and close. So that is a little story Dr. Lamb came up with to help people with that move. Oh, look, my shiny ball. You're showing it off. Oh, look at this ball. They don't want your ball. You bring it back to yourself and you're thinking, but if only they knew, just give them one more chance. No, they don't want your ball, so you bring it back. So that can help you. Now, when we split it up like that, when we have our lower body as the step forward, where we shift right, step or place left, shift left, right foot forward. You know, when we do that, when we think of it as a step forward, we're like, oh, that's easy. I got that. That's no problem at all. And whenever we do the hand movement, then I like hear a heartbeat. Do y'all hear it? Hold on. Oh, I've muted all of y'all now and I don't hear it. So do y'all still hear it? No, you don't hear it? Okay. Well, if you need to talk, I can unmute you. Well, you could probably unmute you.
That's coming from the hospital.
Oh, that's Mr. Ed's heartbeat we're hearing. Well, we are glad Mr. Ed has a heartbeat. Sometimes it's hard for me to think, talk, and hear, extraneous noises. But when we do that footwork, that's like, oh gosh, that's an easy movement. It's just a step forward. All right, we start thinking about the ball, and we're like, oh, I can remember that little story about the ball where I show it off, and I give them one more chance, and they still don't want it. Oh, well, those are easy. But when we start putting it together, that's when we're especially challenged. Don't give up. It takes practice to get better at it. So don't give up on yourself. Just repeat it, break it down into parts. So let's put it together, breaking it down into parts. So when my hands come up, nothing's happening with my legs. My weight is on both feet. I'm just bringing my hands up. But when I bring my hands down, that's when I shift the weight to that right leg. If you can master the hand movement with the weight shift, you are going to find some amazing results and experiences with Tai Chi. Because when we get to our advanced movements and we shift as those hands go forward, when we move those hands in a direction of the weight shift, then those connections start happening inside of us, and it's a wonderful experience. So why not go ahead and start practicing that in our very first move? So we bring our hands up, down, shift right. So see, hands down, weight down. I think of that as down when I'm shifting to that right foot. So hands up, weight, shift to that right foot. Don't forget to breathe. Hands up, down, shift right. All right, what's our next move? It's place the left foot out, empty, right? So we come up, down, shift right, place left foot, empty. We know the next move of our hands is in and up. So while we still have the weight on that right foot and that empty step out, we bring our hands in and up. So from the top, we bring our hands up, down, shift right, place left. Hands come in and up. Whole time that weight's still on our right foot. When our hands are here at the top, we're ready to place those hands out. That's where we're going to show Then that ball one more time. As we take our hands out, we're going to shift weight to that left foot. So shift as I place those hands out. Now bring that right foot forward. That right foot forward is an empty step. So all my weight's on this left foot while my hands are out. Now I'm going to bring my hands in. And when I bring my hands in, that's when I give weight to both legs. So, mirror image. Lord, it's a long time since I've taught mirror image. Alright, so mirror image. We bring our hands up. Down, shift right. Place left. Hands come in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. So you see my body shift over. So I was here over top of this leg, that left leg. And then whenever I pulled my hands back, I evened out the weight. Now weight is on both of my legs. So I'm ready for open and close, which is our second move that has no leg movements. So we have weight on both legs for open and close. So again, mirror image. Commence. We bring our hands up. Down, shift right. Place left. Hands come in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back as I even my weight out. And open and close. So we're taking this back to the beginning of our movements because it's a beginner class. And I tell you, the first time you heard this move be explained, you're hearing it differently today than you did that first time. Because you've had experience with this move. And if you're like me, you maybe forgot some of the pieces and parts. You maybe forgot when there's a weight shift or when you hold weight, when you bring weight back to both legs. You might have forgot the details of the moves. You may have created a bad habit. Lord knows I've done that before and I've had to fix it. And so that's why I go to training every 2 years, because lo and behold, I go to training and I'm fixing something that maybe I was a little bit off on, so I can be a better instructor. So we're going back to the beginning so you hear it differently now. So, again, from the top, weights on both legs. Our hands are to our side. We commence. Bring our hands up. Down, shift right. Place left. Hands come in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Open and close. Breathe. I'm going to turn around. Let's practice it again. And commence. Hands up. Down, shift right. Place left. Hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Even the weight. And open and close. Close it out. Again, commence. Hands up. Down, shift right. Place left. Hands come in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Open and close. Did you forget about the wrist flicking? All right, let's do that movement and think about wrist flicking. Here we go. And commence. Hands up. Fingers pointed down. Hands come down as I shift right. Fingers pointed up. place left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. So it feels different this time. Slowing it down and breaking it down. Let's do it again and commence. If you feel you have those moves down really good, I want you to think about breathing, okay? All of our lungs are different. Let me tell you my breath with these movements. You may be able to do it, you may not be able to do it. But my goal is to inhale and completely fill those lungs with air, and exhale and completely empty those lungs with air. That's my goal. Now, not all moves lend themselves to this complete empty and complete filling of air, because your move doesn't take the amount of time it takes to completely inhale and exhale. But commencement and open and close get us started, and those moves do lend themselves to it. So here's how my breath happens when I do this move. So I inhale as I come up, and I exhale as I come down. So I get all the way here, and now I am ready to inhale again. And exhale as I pull back. And then when I go to open and close, I inhale and I exhale. So those moves, commencement and open and close, for me is 3 breaths. And so again, I inhale as I come up and exhale as I come down, in and up. Now I'm ready to inhale again as I take my hands out, and exhale as I bring my hands in, and then inhale as I open, and exhale as I close. So that's how my breath works. So I want you to think about your breath as you go through those movements as we practice, okay? So we're thinking about breath. Inhaling completely, exhaling completely. In a perfect world, it takes about twice as long to exhale as it did to inhale. And the reason why is because we exhale through pursed lips. So it looks like you're going to whistle. And when we exhale through pursed lips, it slows down that airflow and allows that air to take twice as long to come out as it did to come in. Okay? So we inhale through our nose, we exhale through pursed lips. So let's practice those moves in thinking about breath. I'm not going to talk, I'm going to be breathing. So, ready and commence. Again. Commence. Let's do it 3 more times. And if you're still not feeling the movement yet, then don't worry so much about the breath. Think more about the empty step or the weight transfer. Whatever you need to be focusing on as we review these moves and think about how we've been doing them and how we can improve ourselves, because that's what we're doing. We're going back through, exploring the pieces and parts of each move and trying to make ourselves be better Tai Chi people. So I'm going to be focusing on breath. You focus on whatever you need. And commence. Two more times. And commence. And again, from the top, commence. Close it out. So I want to tell you what happened there, because you didn't know, because you can't hear me breathe. But these past 2 times, okay, so whenever I went up, I inhaled. When I went down, I exhaled. And when I got to my hips, I thought, I'm done exhaling. I need a breath. So I inhaled. And then I exhaled as I went out. And I finished my exhale as I came back in, and then opened, inhaled, closed, exhaled. So what I told you I did a little while ago, I changed it because I listened to my body, and my body said, sister, I need a breath. So I said, well, let's take one. I mean, no one held a gun to my head and said, no ma'am, you can't take a breath until you take those hands out. So listen to your body. You may be in the middle of coming up and you need to take a breath or you need to exhale. Listen to your body. But we want to slow down that breath along with our moves, completely inhaling, completely exhaling. And so some days it may be a little different. You know, we may get a little sickness in our lungs, and that affects the way we breathe. We don't get too wrapped up in the exact times to inhale and exhale, for lots of reasons. The main thing is we're breathing. We are not holding our breath. We want to inhale and exhale so we can get blood flowing, so we can get those lungs expanded, and work those lungs, exercise those lungs, so that if sickness does ever come upon us, then our lungs can help break that down and help recover, because we're used to the inhale and the exhale. You know, so we do a lot of preventive type stuff with all the Tai Chi that we do. When we start doing our Tai Chi, you know, the whole series of movements, I'm less thinking about my inhale and exhale completely and more focused on the fact that I am breathing and not holding my breath. And so, you know, we kind of shift our focuses depending on how we're doing our Tai Chi. You know, we're breaking our moves down, but I've talked to y'all so much about waving hands in clouds and how I'm just in love with waving hands in clouds because I'm practicing weight transfer, which I think is the key to getting our legs strong and stable and able to keep us upright. And then I love the hand part because it's not circular, but the movement is so smooth. I mean, it's elliptical, not circular, but it's relaxing. We can really practice that slow, smooth, and continuous. So sometimes we have different focuses whenever we pull pieces and parts of movement out. You could sit down or stand up, but sitting down would be ideal because then you don't have to worry about holding your weight as you inhale and exhale with just open and close. If you feel yourself being anxious, you know, in the beginning I talked to Mr. Ed about being in the hospital and being kind of confined to a space and not being able to get up and move. A lot of times in the hospital you got things attached to you. You can't get up and do Tai Chi. But if you can, sit and open and close. You know, you don't even have to come out wide. You can have your hands here and just simply breathe. So I'm not too much worried about my armpits breathing here. My arms are a little, my armpits are a little more closed. But I'm trying to envision being tied up with tubes and IVs and different things. But I want to close my eyes and I want to breathe. And I want to think about open and close and gentle resistance, pulling taffy or opening that accordion and closing that accordion. So we can take our moves and make it serve us for whatever our situation is. All right, any questions about anything I've said today? All right, well, let's cool down. Let's give ourselves a nice fist massage. Our legs always work so hard for us, and this is just a thank you to our legs for working so hard. You know, we get sore from doing Tai Chi and holding weight on one leg and shifting weight and holding weight on the other leg. And so this can help with that soreness. Then we want to gather tension, and we don't want to live with tension. We want to let that go. So gather and release. An hour goes by so fast. Gather and release. So we focused on 2 moves today, and we spent our hour doing it because we can talk about 2 moves for an hour because that's how dynamic Tai Chi is. There's so many things that we can do with just those moves, so many focuses. When we follow our principles, then we got a lot that we can do in keeping it simple. Oh, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We've practiced some good breathing today. And we don't talk about breathing enough in Tai Chi. That's my fault. Right fist represents our strength. Our left fingers together represents our friendship, and our thumb in our humility, which is a reminder that we have so much to learn. And I love that. Humility is one of my new favorite words because I love to learn. We put these together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste.
So thank y'all for coming back today. I like this experience of review and going over our moves in a different way. And so I can teach this class 400 million different ways. So thank y'all for trusting me and going along this journey with me. because I love it. I love it so much. If y'all need me, I'm here. Y'all let me know what you need. And if y'all don't need anything between now and next Tuesday, then I'll see you next Tuesday.
Miss Jennifer,
Yes, ma'am.
could you come in? We'll take about 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am, I will. And Miss Iris, I'm going to send you your handbook. I just realized I didn't do that, and I will do that today. Okay? All right. Well, y'all let me know what you need. Miss Barbara, I'll call you in just a second, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Love y'all.
Love you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.